Hello and welcome to the special edition of the Prime Playbook, where we explore the ideas shaping the future of finance and business. As financial services become increasingly digital, technology is playing a pivotal role in redefining how institutions scale, innovate, and engage with customers. To discuss this transformation and HDFC Securities' evolving tech and digital ecosystem, we are joined by Mangalam Ganesh, the CTO at HDFC Securities. Mangalam, such a pleasure to have you with us on the podcast. And technology is all we can talk about, right? There's this massive digitization wave in India, and it is across sectors, and brokerage is one of them for sure. People are investing with a click now. So at HDFC Securities, let's start with that. How have things evolved? What are some of the propositions that you have? And are you very tech savvy for customers?
Yes. Thank you, Sonal, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. So at HDFC Securities, yes, we have two digital platforms. One is HDFC InvestRight and the other is HDFC Sky. HDFC InvestRight is our full broking proposition and full service proposition, and HDFC Sky is our discount broking proposition. Being in the technology space, like you rightly said, it's quite a crazy ride. It's the balance that we have to do between, getting the tech aspect right, getting the business angles correct, prioritizing all of that, and also having the regulatory framework coming with us all the time, because we are handling the wealth of the customer. So that is one area so balancing all these three is really the challenging aspect of a broking technology space. I quite enjoy doing it, to be honest with you. But yeah, 2 years back, if you were to look at how HDFC Securities tech landscape was, we had some legacy applications, the mobile app, the website, and all of that were quite old, and we were already in the process of transformation or transforming those into modernizing those applications, going cloud native. So it's been a journey actually for HDFC Sec. Though honestly, I have joined just around a year ago. So this journey has, I would say, almost at the completed, and the customer is able to see the the results of this transformation journey that we took, right? So I came into this team where I actually have an engineering team of about 100 odd folks.
Wow.
Who work on both HDFC Sky and InvestRight. So two platforms. So these are actually two parallel platforms that we maintain, develop, and so it's a pretty lean team actually, if you look at it. But yeah, a lot of magic happening there. So when I came in and I saw HDFC InvestRight, HDFC Sky, and I opened an account here, and I went through it. There are many small differences that I could make out, like well thought through for the customer. So that's something that I really love about this place is everything. So everybody, right from Dheeraj to say a technology team member, but also the only language they speak is customer.
Great.
Right? So that was something that I really like. Culturally, we are all of us aligned in that sense to think customer. And technologically, every day, especially now with this AI, Gen AI space coming along, technologically it's always been a ride for me. All these nothing has really changed in that sense.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So when you're talking about these small changes, I would like you to continue, but just picking up from what you said, which you were pleasantly surprised from a customer angle, and I'm sure a lot of your customers are watching us as well. What are some changes that you saw are customer focused or customer centric, which makes their life easier?
So I'll tell you, maybe I can talk about a couple of features,
Yeah,
for example, right? So in HDFC Sky, for example, we have this thing called Sky Signals. So if you go to a particular script and you try to look for so typically before you buy, you would look at how the script is performing. So if you are somebody who reads charts, or who's into understanding chart patterns, so there are these signals that pop up. Small things, non-intrusive, which are there as part of the page, small thought through kind of signals which can help you decide. So some of these features, for example, if you have done trading on a certain days, there's something called as a P&L calendar. You have a calendar which says every day what's the trade you have done, is it plus minus, so it lets you know that have you how the trade that you did on that day, how is it faring today. So some of these features are really nice. In Invest Right, for example, we have, and we'd be launching that in Sky as well soon, we have this portfolio optimizer, which is basically something which gives you, so when you go to your portfolio, it'll tell you, want to learn more? Click here. So when you click there, it'll give you all insights about your portfolio. It might, tell you how it's doing. It might tell you that, here are our research recommendations against this. If there's anything that our research recommends that you should be, buying, or, so it gives you those kind of insights, which I feel is very much aligned to how a customer would want to, probably delve more into the way that he or she sees his wealth, how it's being handled or how it's being managed. Such features.
That's interesting and important to know from a customer perspective as well. So, when we talk about technology, we talk about the fact that maybe the human touch would go away. But I was having a conversation with Mr. Relly as well, and I would like you to come in on this. What happens when people are just clicking away and investing? What happens to the talent around? You're largely a customer focused, as you said, organization. So what happens with relationship managers? How do you put all of that together to ensure that the experience is better?
So Sonal, I believe that, even as customers, so even for me as a customer, there are days when I just want to, do stuff myself.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there are days when I really feel that, I wish somebody would tell me that.
Yeah.
And those are just two completely different aspects of me and in the face. The good space that we are in, I think, is that we cater to both those, needs of a customer. So if it's something where you feel that, you can do it yourself, you could. At the same time, if you feel that you want help, we have this RM based help, which is just a call away. So like I could go onto my app and see who is the RM who is assigned to me, and I could go and call him or her and get that details. The other aspect of it, so one aspect of it is, of course, as an investor, as a customer, do I have, so I can do whichever that I feel that I should go for at any point of time. The one question that I keep thinking in today's day and age, and reading everything to say that, are all white collar jobs are going to go away?
Yeah.
Are we going to be replaced by AI? Honestly, I think, at least I don't see that people would be replaceable by AI, because most important is to have somebody who has that ownership or that oversight over what is it that the AI is generating or doing. Like, while it can increase productivity, and it will increase productivity, it's only going to get better and better. I at least do not see the
impact.
The impact. I mean, as in, I do see the impact of maybe people may have to transition what they were doing into doing something very differently. But I don't see that there will be a loss of human touch, or that's something that can happen in the wealth space, at least, the investment space.
Exactly, because investing is a lot about behavior as well.
Absolutely.
And you can regulate it via humans, not really AI, so to say. So in that case, when you're talking about talent, do you think you need more investments when you make that massive transformation towards digitization? Is it all internal, the entire staff, or is it contracted in some way? Just trying to understand what the structure is and whether the talent pool has changed. Like you said, people will have to upskill themselves. Is that happening across the board?
It will be a mix, Sonal. So I'll tell you, it will have to be a mix of getting in the fresh talent and upskilling the existing resources as well. It will have to be a good mix of having both in place. A reason is that you will need the expertise of the people who have been seeing the ecosystem for so long, and you will need the infusement of that fresh thought and behavior coming in. And therefore, at least the way I see it is, we will have a lot of upskillment that is very essential. At least at HDFC, the good part I feel is that we run with mostly leaner teams. So
you said around 100 people in the team, in both the platforms?
100 people in the engineering, which do both in-house. So our team is largely in-house. We have a very few contractual employees also who support it. But largely we have an in-house engineering team which does development. So both the InvestRight as well as the Sky platforms, the development that what we see, the app, the web and everything is by the in-house engineering team.
So what next when we are seeing this transformation already? You must be having a lot of ideas considering how fast the world is changing. I asked this to Mr. Relly as well. What is this one thing that you think might not work today but will maybe work 5 years down the line, and that is something you will have? You're the boss at technology. So what are some ideas that keep you awake at night?
We're doing a couple of R&D projects where we are seeing whether we can develop something from scratch and as a whole, maybe with just one or two people, and try and develop an entire product and see if it goes. So those are the kind of things that we're seeing. The end state, Sonal, that I feel is, so for me as a technology person, there's always this huge list of asks from every business leader, right? Who says, and we have to balance, the number of people who are working on it versus the number of requirements that are coming in. So for me, it's always like this entire list which is there. So I'm thinking that my dream is that someday it's going to be, the list comes, something comes today and I'm able to,
deliver it.
deliver it. And not have a queue. But yeah, we are working towards, we're doing some, so we'd be a little careful in these areas because we don't want to get into a space where something where the guardrails are not set right, and something can happen unreviewed where, because AI does have these issues of hallucination and things like that, which can technically disrupt or really undo all good. So therefore we're doing that's really what I see in the future in terms of how I see the technology teams to be probably have 20-30 times the productivity that they are having currently.
20-30 times, that's incredible. So how that is full usage of AI, or that is your how much of a usage of AI are you seeing right now? It'll increase.
So I'll tell you, right now we are doing AI in piece, like there are these small projects where we are doing AI and we have seen like usefulness. For example, reaching of customers. So when we're doing some kind of calling and assisting the customers to maybe open an account, these are places where originally when we used to have a 10-15 member team who used to call customers, the reach would be as much as the capacity of that team. Now we're able to increase that reach with having this agent based calling. So there we have actually seen good success. Similarly, when we do another very typical scenario which is very helpful is also in quality analysis. So call quality analysis, training, those kind of backgrounds. So those are all projects which we've already live with. Some customer facing. So for example, in both InvestRight and Sky, we have this MCP protocol with which the customer can connect to the MCP through Claude MCP and do whatever say queries with their portfolio. Yeah. So they can do that engagement. So that's customer facing. Customer facing, we do have some projects which are still in CUG where we have tried to open up agent based or an AI based chat bot, questioning, those kind of things. So those are all various areas where the work is happening. So the first question when you asked me, I was talking to you about the tech space per se, that how will my technology team, I was talking about the human angle to, how are we going to handle the technology team. So that was the aspect. But yeah, in almost everywhere, I think we have to
use AI in some or the other way.
Things will,
Yeah. So when you said, it comes, of course, we need human intervention because there could be issues with technology. It cannot handle it on itself all the time. Cybersecurity also must be a big part of what you do. And when you do see some instances where technology is not behaving the way you want, how do things change at the office level, at your level? I'm just trying to understand, because when we talk about glitches at times, I'm sure the teams are working faster than ever to solve those issues. So how big of training or drill is that when it comes to your entire execution?
Yeah. So very good point, Sonal, there you talked about cybersecurity and really that's one place. So which is why when I told you, there are some areas where we are going slow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the exact reason, because we want to do the thorough testing to figure out, we want to ensure that those teams who are doing the security monitoring have the visibility actually into what's happening. So it's more about, creating the required visibility that they have so that the monitoring can be online, their comfort in terms of, there's nothing wrong that's happening with whatever this newer technology space is. So as we speak, everybody is on a learning curve right now, right? So it's a crazy great time to be actually in this space, because it's every day is a new learning. But having said that, considering the responsibility we hold, we do go slow, and we do not go unless we have all the greens as far as this security, or the infosec, as we call it, department has to give us all the greens before we deploy something. There's one more part of your question.
Yeah,
I
so
missed
basically
that.
what happens when, there's a glitch in the app, suppose. And so how quick is the reaction? Now, I'm just trying to understand what would it be like at the technology floor when you get a message, okay, there's some problem.
Nightmare.
So that requires a quick response team.
does,
Do you have a
it
separate
does.
team for that? How does it work?
The most nightmarish word in my life is a tech glitch, by the way. Yeah, so of course everybody jumps into action, and there's no one single team that can solve it. But yeah, we do have a dedicated team which does this all the time, monitoring, which gives us the initial alerts, itself if something is going wrong. So we have various tools in place which will be able to proactively alert us that something is going wrong, and then we have to, you're absolutely right, to get into quick action. So when we do planning for releases, for example, if something is going live, the first thought process is, okay, what if this doesn't work?
Yeah.
So this is something which it's just ingrained in everybody's, this to say, what's my fallback? Like, if this doesn't work, then what? So I think, we always have all these alternatives in our mind to say, if this doesn't happen, then what if this happens? So it's like a daily thing. That's how we go prepared every single day.
It's amazing to see how things work, because from a customer viewpoint, they must be here just clicking away and investing, but there's so much happening in the background. Last question before I let you go of this very interesting conversation. I asked you what next, what is the next thing that you're working on? But do you think the industry, I'm not talking from an HDFC Securities point of view. I know you are ahead in a lot of things. But what is it that you think the industry needs to go in a way of change to shift from the traditional model to make further leap into digitization when it comes to investing via apps or via any other medium?
Good question. So if I were to ask you from a customer perspective, I think more and more complicated pieces will start transitioning into DIY.
Okay.
There would be, like what we talk about, more and more people trusting, human interventions. Might also, those interventions also might, slowly, transition into DIY. Of course, the human, human in the loop will never go away. But yes, I think the more complicated things becoming more DIY for the customer, and enabling customers' lives, which probably, somebody would have not got, a retail customer would not have had access to these, tools or resources, will, start getting those. So I think what we are heading towards is customers being very tech savvy themselves with AI coming in. We being able to bring in that value, is really what will be the way ahead. Like, how are we going to bring in that value to the customer? And that's really where we keep striving all the time.
So good to know. I'm sure your customers are watching this, must be very happy to know about what you're working towards, because it's all digital now. You want an app, you just want to get it done quickly and immediately. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about HDFC Securities, digital transformation, the tech platforms, and how customer-centric the organization is. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Sonal. Pleasure.
With that, we'll take your leave on this conversation, but stay tuned to CNBC-TV18 Prime for more news and updates.